Man, what's up, world? What's up? Your boy back just for a brief second. I ain't gonna take too much time 'cause it's late, but at the same time, it's been on my mind. And I really just want to put that out there, put this out there. So, the last few days, I've been on Twitter, and I'm not really even the Twitter guy, but ever since the little situation happened with me and you know, uh, Tariq or whatever have been going back and forth, it has just caused my interest to kind of peak and see what actually goes on Twitter more often, and especially with these Twitter spaces and these Twitter groups. So as that had kind of passed, I start entering some of these Twitter spaces, some of the FBA Twitter spaces, and I even had a chance to hear some of the Twitter spaces hosted by some of the Black immigrants or whatever. And my conclusion is that it's a lot of negativity coming from both sides. All right. So the FBA or whatever, they or it's a movement, it's a lineage, but there is this disagreement with a lot of Black immigrants that come over that have this I guess have this animosity or have this perception about Black Americans or foundational Black Americans or Aboriginal Americans or freedmen Americans or whatever you want to call it, however you want to label it, right? And so I do see the perspective or the point that many of the Aboriginal freedmen Americans, Black Americans do have, and I also see the argument that the Black immigrants do have as far as not feeling like they are part of the culture, or also or being told to not associate with many Black Americans, basically because of the stereotypes or the perception that is put out there by the mainstream on how Black Americans act and conduct themselves. Well, I'm just gonna say this, my own personal perspective, and this mainly goes out to the FBAs or the Black Americans, the American descendants of slaves. Um, a person that detracts or that is antagonistic or that antagonize the situation is just exactly what they are. They're just the antagonizer. So you're gonna have antagonizers that are Black immigrants or of any immigrant group, or even within your own group, you're gonna have people that antagonize you and that push oppositional messages. But you have to realize, from my perspective, is when you're dealing with Black immigrants, right? Especially Black immigrants, since that's where the situation, the argument lies, is Black immigrants. What main industry do Black immigrants control? Black immigrants don't control the transportation industry. They don't control the hospitality industry. They don't control the manufacturing industry. They don't control the beauty supplies, the donut stores. They don't, like I said, they don't control transportation, healthcare. Many of the banks. Many of the infrastructure that is actually empowering and fueling this country. So to me, I guess my question is, how much power do they really have? Now, of course, you have people like that may have been in place, like like the Kamala Harris's, um, you know, um, Sheila Jackson Lee's, and some of these people who are second generational or just first generational immigrants who do push oppositional agendas, which I can understand at that point. But for the most part, they have no way of really harming you or keeping you back. And if we do have issues with many of those people co-opting the movement or co-opting the momentum, or using the black face and really having an oppositional agenda, that also happens within the own FBA or foundational or the American descendant of slave group. So we have to realize that there is no one blanket way, one way. What it do, JB? There is no particular group that's going to be solid the whole time. Everybody group is going to have infiltrators and people who stand in opposition to what we're trying to get done. So just saying all black immigrants, not necessarily saying all black immigrants, but just even going at black immigrants, like black immigrants are going to kind of hinder you when the black immigrants don't control any major industry. They don't control healthcare. They don't control transportation, manufacturing. Those industries are controlled by other immigrant groups. And even when you get these black immigrants who do speak, these white supremacist talking points, who you think they're getting the cue from? They're getting the cue from the white supremacists. So don't divert your attention off the actual group or persons that we need to be attacking. We don't need to be diverting our attention trying to attack, these black immigrants all the time. We need to focus on the white supremacists who have co-opted these people. And so I think that a lot of the times when we listen to people like, just be honest, just when you listen to cats like Tariq and many of his minions or the people who rock with him like that, they are trying to get you emotionally riled up. Not saying that some of the information that they put out is not true. They expose a lot of stuff, but at the same time, you got to be conscious and think for yourself, right? So, I'm just saying, when you listening to this stuff on Twitter, when you listening to this stuff through YouTube, use your own brain, use your own mind. So don't get caught up in, all black immigrants are against us, because I done a lot of business with some black immigrants, and like I just said the other day, I just went to a balloon release where two, what we call FBA or American descendants of slaves, just killed another American descendant of slaves. So we have a lot of house cleaning that needs to go on in our own communities. So we need to make sure we address those and don't be distracted by the emotional or by the trickery or by the left hand, don't know what the right hand doing, switchery and the divide and conquer tactic that is being placed upon us. We need to unify with anybody who's down to push your cause, period. Regardless, I'm black, white, red, yellow, whatever the case may be. If they genuinely down to help you push your cause, you rock with those people, because all skin folk are not kinfolk, right? So that's why I'm gonna leave out there. I know it's late and I'm gonna get up out of here. But that Twitter space, man, it gets real negative, man. So they didn't kick me out a couple of groups a couple of times, just trying to ask, I feel like basic relevant questions like, why are we, why are we having these arguments with immigrants and they can't really stop us? Well, at least the black immigrants can't. They don't control the construction industries. That's them Hispanic groups, the Asians controlling the manufacturing, like I said, the beauty supplies. You got a lot of the Jewish and these type of people controlling the banking industry. So don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, man. Let's get it done. We want to fight for reparations. Continue to fight for reparations, but at the same time, build up our economic base in our own communities by helping each other, start businesses, supporting our businesses, quit running out the Gucci, Prada, and all of these other mainstream distribution companies, and they don't mean you any good. Don't want to build nothing in your community. Don't give nothing back to your community. So anyways, y'all be blessed. Wanted to put that information out there. Don't be caught up in the divide and conquer, man. Be smart. Use your own brain. I'm out this thing. Good night. Peace.